When it comes to putting, just how much do you think about what grip you're using and also how you're holding the club? Today I'm going to be looking at some grips and a putting system that could revolutionise the way you put. So these are called Kotahi grips, and you can see they've got quite an unusual teardrop shape to them. But that's not the only unusual thing about these. They also come with a complete putting system. So it's called the BJM putting system, and it's designed to tell you how to hold these grips in the most effective way. Now, the developer behind this is a PGA Pro, but he also specialises in biomechanics. So this is really about opening your palms up and giving you a more stable hand and wrist action throughout the putt. Now you can see here the grips come in two different size options, and really this is just about picking the one that you're most comfortable with and which you feel that you can replicate the correct grip with the best. You'll also be pleased to know these come in a wide variety of colours, so you really can get anything to suit your eye, whether that comes from the red, pinks, orange, literally there is everything in this range. Now in my testing I found I actually prefer the bigger size of this grip. It just feels a little bit more comfortable to me and like I can grip the club better. So I've put that on my gamer, and I'm just going to show you now how BJM are suggesting you should grip the club with this grip. So when you get one of these grips, it comes with a pretty extensive booklet that shows you exactly how you should be gripping the club. Now I think this is pretty good because not only have you got descriptions, you've got images and key points that you need to check, and it also shows you examples of what you shouldn't be doing as well, which is definitely pretty helpful. Now for those of you who put cack-handed, there's also a separate way showing you how to do that. It's really similar, it's just about putting the hands on in a different order. So let's just run through how you want to be gripping this club and what the benefits are of using this system. So the first thing you want to do here is just get stood up pretty straight with your feet together and everything facing forward. Then you want to grab the club with your rear hand. So for me, that is for my right hand because I put with my left hand at the top of the club, I don't put cack-handed. Now you want to take the club here and hold it up so it's pretty much parallel to the floor. This is just in a neutral position and ready to get the grip sorted. So then we're going to take our lead hand, and this is the one we're going to put on the grip first. So before we do this, we want to get the forearm up in the same position, parallel to the floor, and make sure that that wrist is kind of really neutral in terms of aligned up with your forearm. So we don't want any deviation here, we don't want it kind of ulnar or radial deviated, so we want everything in a nice straight line. Now from that point, we want to keep that straight line, which is actually pretty tricky, and rotate the arm in so the hand's kind of in the middle of your chest. So really you want to focus on not letting the wrist kind of do the movement and move in. It's really all coming in from your forearm. You want to keep that arm kind of tucked into the side of your body and your elbow kind of just stuck to the side of your ribs. Now from here we're going to pull the club out, and what we want is the top of the grip to be sitting just above your kind of pinky finger and then running into your pointer finger. So you can see here really the palm is facing up towards the sky, and we want to keep that position as we grip the club. So from here we're going to pull in the fingers and the thumb, but making sure the palm stays upwards. Here we should see that these two fingers are kind of opposite each other, but they're not pointing down the shaft of the putter. Then we're going to go ahead and do the same thing with our rear hand and make sure that again it's the grip sitting just above our pinky finger and then going into your pointer finger. So you can see here how my palms are really facing upwards, and what that does is it prevents kind of the wrists and the hands being able to rotate as much, and definitely stop with that kind of wristy flicky stroke. So it's going to really help you keep that club face more stable throughout the stroke. So now we're in this position, what we want to do is just drop the club head slightly. You can probably feel you're really having to hold the weight of the putter up here, so you just want to let that drop down a little bit, and we'll see that the hands and the grip are just rising up a little bit. Then from there we can go straight ahead and bend down into the putt, and we're going to widen our stance here, so we kind of got 30% width from the front foot and 70% from the back. And that then is the correct position. I'm not going to lie, this feels very different to what I'm used to, but it also feels really solid. My arms feel very secure into my body, and I don't really feel like a lot can go wrong. It rolls so good. I would say if anything it feels like the putter needs to be slightly longer when you're using this grip, because I do feel like I'm doing a bit of a Michelle Wee at the moment. The wrists do feel really stable through this, and I also really like the way it connects your arms into your body, because I feel like it really helps control the path. I would say for me, it does feel like I could leave the club face open a little bit, but that always is my tendency, and I do feel like as long as I keep my arms connected to the chest and pull through with that left side, that it will square up really nicely. Pretty consistent. I definitely feel like I'm using my thoracic more here rather than letting the movement come from the wrists, which is definitely more consistent in terms of start line. Why haven't I putted like this before? So before I swapped to this grip, I used to put with a claw grip. Now, the problem I have with this, and for me typically with traditional grips, is that on the way down and through, I can kind of feel like the club head wants to drop down just because of the weight of it, and gets under and lifts the hands up, and then you get that toey strike, which obviously isn't ideal in terms of distance control or direction control. Now, when I'm using this grip, I just feel like the palms are so up and my arms are so well connected in that it's not possible for the club head to drop down like that. I've been so consistent in terms of strikes off the club face, and for me that's definitely been revolutionary because I've struggled with toe strikes for so long with my putting. So from that point of view, I'm super impressed with the performance of this grip and the whole putting system really. Okay, I'm taking that as going in because it only bounced out of the kind of fake cut we've got at the moment. Honestly, one of my favourite things about this is just how consistent my speed control has been with this, and I've especially noticed that when I've been out on the course testing. I think this system is really going to work well for people who have a tendency to be quite handsy and want to use the wrists a lot in the stroke, because it really forces you to use your body better. It feels really controlled to me, and it just feels like I don't really have to worry about the path or the club face because it's all kind of just controlled by the body movement. Obviously we're still kind of in that winter period, so the greens are up to their best yet, but I've been really impressed with just how well these are rolling and the start line of these. And when I've been out on the course with this, I've holed a lot more putts than usual, and I've also had a lot more burn in the edges of the hole, which is definitely a good feeling. So I've been using this grip and this putting system for quite a few weeks now. I kind of got to grips with it during lockdown and practiced inside, and since then I've been able to take it out on the golf course. And I have to say, I've been super impressed. Over the years, I've tried a lot of different things to improve my putting, and honestly, this is head and shoulders above the rest in terms of the improvement it's made. A big thing for me was the improvement in the centerness of the strikes, but I also think the whole stroke and the way you're holding the club just feels so secure and controlled. I really like the way it kind of improves your thoracic movement, and it feels like the movement's coming more from your body, which is definitely more consistent over time, and I've really seen this out on the golf course. If you're serious about making a change to your putting, I would definitely recommend trying this out. It's super easy to use, the instruction guide is great, and yes, it does feel weird at first, but honestly the performance is worth persevering. Right, that's all for today. If you have any questions, feel free to put them in the comments below or drop me a line on Twitter or Instagram. If you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications too. And if you're after more golf content, head to the National Club Golfer social media channels for more.